My precious.
Hello everyone and welcome to Action RPG. I'm your host Aaron, and for today's video we're headed to the world of Last Epoch. Mike, one of the senior developers at 11th Hour Games, held his normal Friday Q&A live stream on Twitch, which means I get to bring you Dev Chat 96. As always, Mike answered lots of great questions from the community and gave us a couple teasers. We're going to jump right into this. This is a long answer he gave, but there were some technical difficulties with the stream. He ended up having to reboot the stream twice. So I'm only going to give you the end of his answer, but ultimately customizable UI or MTX UI.
For having like customizable MTX for the UI, we don't have any plans for that at the moment. It's not impossible. It might happen.
Don't lose your way.
You're back. I am sure next it will be a long.
But currently no plans. Now, earlier he said they have dabbled with this idea. My opinion, do it. Let's talk a little missing masteries and 1.0.
Will the missing classes be released before or with patch 1.0 full release? With patch 1.0 full release later this year. Yeah, all the masteries are coming this year. Was that like 7 months max? Less than 7 months because we're on the second.
I think you're probably saying, Aaron, we already know this. It's been in the official post. I think that's the first time I have heard Mike say that out loud. Because normally it's like, when's it coming? And he normally says, I expect you to say when it's ready. No. He did not say when it's ready. He said this year. Now, Mike gives us our first little teaser, even though this is likely something you've already seen. I'm going to let this play for a little bit because while this is showing on screen, Mike answers a lot of really good questions. Check this out.
And I just like didn't see it until it was too late. But like, here's a little in-game render of a unique item. Going fishing for a half day tomorrow. It's exciting. So feeling tired all the time as well. Yeah. Fishing's nice. I haven't been fishing in years. Any chance we get some kind of balance hotfix before next patch? Maybe. I know someone was pitching that idea to do. I don't know if it's going to happen or not. I know. So there's this interesting thing that's happened is now that we've released a ladder, there's sort of this impetus to not make huge nerfs to top tier builds mid ladder, and then on top of that, if we do a balance pass without nerfs to top tier builds, it's just power creep is all it is. It's just power creep. And there's a lot of bugged builds on the ladder right now too, so I think that if I don't know if we have the time to do this either as well. There's so many things to get done for 1.0, and it might just be maybe we'll take a crack at some of it quickly to try and fix the major problems, but it may also just be something we just don't have time for at the moment. The version of the ladder that's out right now is mostly for like testing. It's a beta version of the ladder itself, so we're trying to make sure it's solid and the features are there and we get developed. As far as balancing goes, if it were not a time issue, I think my vote would be to do a mid-season do a ladder reset basically. Seal the ladder and shrine it, say like, okay, great, people who did well, great, we're moving on to the next ladder, here's a balance patch, ladder reset, balance patch, go. But don't like delete the characters, like leave the characters, no character reset, just a ladder wipe basically with a big balance patch. and save the ladder stats. So don't push them off. Don't delete them. But that would be, I think, the ideal solution.
I love this next question. Actually, I love the answer to this
I
question.
know you guys want Faction Speed 1.0, but are the testers going to be able to test it beforehand, or is it going to be purely in-house testing? I feel like players can always find ways to break such systems. Yeah, we do intend to release the item factions to community testers before launching it fully. Don't know exactly how that's going to happen or when, but that is the plan at the moment.
Community testers out there, we're gonna get factions early. Let's talk some 091 launch. And thank you, Mike, for the shout out. I had fun too.
All right. How happy are you with how the patch landed? I mean, the town problem that happened for the first 3-4 hours was disappointing, to say the least. I loved hanging out in towns like that first. So like when the patch dropped, I was on immediately.
Me too.
I went to town and saw some people. I randomly ran into Aaron in town. I was like, this is super cool. And that was a highlight of the patch release for me. And then I heard that it was not working properly, and I was like, oh no.
Oh no, I felt the same way. Teaser number 2. Check this out.
Let's share this today. Okay, this is a little sneak peek at the Holy Lightning on hit and on death VFX that enemies can have. Videos.
Holy
stuff here. I do not know what's going on.
Death animation.
But the effects. So this is similar to the other effects for the other elements that are already in game. And just showing that we're expanding it to be not.
I
strictly
love
just
gold.
the elements we have in game, but thematically a little bit variance as well.
Now let's talk corruption.
As far as the 1500 corruption runs, I think that there's I think expecting players to reach that high, if we expected players to reach that high in the corruption system, corruption would have to be able to be increased faster than it is. I don't think that there is I think the people who are doing that are incredibly dedicated to pushing corruption, and it's awesome. And I think it's probably getting pretty tedious for them, and a lot of it is
for sure.
And I don't so I'm using conditionals here because I'm not sure, but I gotta say that I've never been overly tempted to push corruption that high organically, because it doesn't go up that fast, really.
No.
So there's something needs to change a little bit in that system. I'm not sure exactly what or how, but there's room for improvement, definitely.
Now, a few minutes earlier, Mike said the sweet spot for EHG is right around 300, but they're hoping most end games min-max builds would be between 200 and 300. So they are definitely going to be reeling it in. All right, everybody, we have come to the final question of Dev Chat 96. Mike, thank you for continuing doing these Friday live streams. The community truly appreciates it. Even with D4 sucking up all the attention and all the people playing it, you still showed up to play LE for us. And I really mean it. Thank you. Thank you. This final question is a follow-up on corruption. So we're going to ask a little more of a pointed question. 2 asks at the end of the video. Ask number 1, I'm hoping today is the day I have earned your subscription. Hoping today is the day you make the decision to push that little red button. I really appreciate it. It really does help the channel as we hit the halfway mark on March. Ask number 2, check out my Patreon. Thank you to the first 87 members that have signed up. I get asked all the time, Aaron, what is the best way to support? And Patreon is the best. For as little as $1 a month to support the channel financially, you are going to get tons of benefits, including the VIP lounge and the bonus hour of the podcast and the Aaron Action RPG VIP YouTube channel, where I just did my studio tour. That's all I've got. Mike, take it away.
All right, a follow-up question to the corruption one, if that's okay. Of course. If the game is balanced around approximately 300 corruption, do you guys want these super high and optimized builds to be around 500 or 1000 corruption? As in, if a build with reasonably good gear is at 300, do you guys want a build that's super optimized to be 500 or 1000 or something else? I know these are quite hard questions to answer, but I very much appreciate the insight. I think it's really hard to put hard numbers to these things in general, and I say like 300 is generally what we optimize around, or like balance around, and it's less of a what do we balance the capabilities of the maximum potential of the capabilities of the builds around, and more around what do we balance the like gameplay experience around. Where's peak fun in that curve? And I think that the biggest problem comes from the ability. Right now, I think the biggest problem comes from the ability to go so high and put so much into it that is like above and beyond what we expect, and not get some like big reward for it. I don't think the solution is just slap a big reward on it, but like that would be a way to fix it. But I think the solution lies probably lies more in like adjusting the like the difficulty and reward curves to like ramp up faster than they do. I think is the right thing. A lot of this is still discussion points. A lot of this is still debate points. It's not none of this is set in stone, really. And there's lots of little changes that happen here and there that can have big impacts on things like this. So we're still waiting on, like seeing how item factions affects things, seeing how other changes to the model system affects things, seeing how adding the new classes affects things. There's a lot of things that can have impact on these systems. But I think I think likely we'll be more interested in doing this water orb, more interested in doing a larger scale balance update, like close to 1.0.